Hey everybody, my name's Kyle and this is Track by Track, music reviews, news, and commentary. For the second year in a row, Pink Floyd has gifted fans with a batch of live concert recordings from their classic era. A whopping 18 previously unreleased live shows from 1972 are now available on popular streaming services. These shows are most notable for highlighting the live evolution of Dark Side of the Moon, with some recordings originating more than a year before the release of their classic album. To that end, there's certainly historical significance to these shows. Now, a moment ago I referred to the recordings as being previously unreleased, which is not entirely accurate. Like the batch of recordings released in 2021, all of these shows have been widely bootlegged over the past 50 years. If you're an avid fan, you may in fact already have some of these in your collection, either on MP3 or CD, cassette, or vinyl. Make no mistake, even though these are now being officially released by Pink Floyd, they are still very much bootleg recordings. Across the board, the audio quality of these recordings is categorically poor by any professional standard, certainly far below what you might expect from a major record label. But that's part of the brilliance of this move, and it's something that's really only possible now in the streaming music era. What Pink Floyd is doing is beating the bootleggers at their own game. Legally speaking, Pink Floyd has always owned the rights to all of these recordings, even though they themselves didn't record them. They were always well within their rights to take those bootleg recordings and then release them themselves. But for so many reasons, including audio quality and costs related to production and distribution, it never made sense for Floyd or really any band to officially, physically release actual bootleg recordings. Yes, Bob Dylan has a long-running series of archive releases called the Bootleg series, but those are not technically bootlegs. They're recordings that were often bootlegged, but in most cases actually originated with or were created by Dylan himself. With these Pink Floyd shows, pretty much all of it is what used to be called ROIOs, or recordings of illegitimate origin. I used to see this stuff at record shows selling for $40 or $50, prices only die-hard fans and collectors would pay. But with streaming music, there's practically no overhead cost for an artist to put anything they want out there. So when it comes to bootleg recordings of their music, why wouldn't Pink Floyd take it back and put it out there themselves? I mean, why not finally make some money off those recordings that others have been illegally profiting from for literally decades? And that's basically what we're getting. An as-is dump of subpar quality recordings that have been circulating among fans for years, only now repossessed by the music's rightful owners. Again, I think it's a brilliant move. Of course, what everyone is also pointing to is the copyright issue, which certainly comes into play. In the UK, recordings over 50 years old that are not being actively released or promoted by the owners fall into the public domain and can then be commercially released by anyone. It's why we've seen a lot of so-called copyright releases from major acts. In 2013, the Beatles digitally released a bootleg recording set of their 1963 BBC performances in order to extend the copyright and protect the tracks from being illegally distributed by others. A year before that, Bob Dylan released a limited edition 4-CD set plainly titled The Copyright Extension Collection for the same reason. Only 100 copies of that were produced, but it still satisfied the legal requirements to preserve the copyrights on the material. Interestingly enough, that limited edition concept plays out in the streaming realm as well. Remember those bootlegs I mentioned Pink Floyd released in 2021? After about a week, the band removed them from streaming services. It's too soon to say what will happen to the Dark Side recordings the band has just released in 2022, but there's a strong chance that by the time you're watching this video, they won't be available anymore. Take that as a warning and download them while you still can. But for Pink Floyd, that limited release will have once again served its purpose. It satisfies the legal requirement to protect their copyright, or more to the point here, repossess their copyright, and helps the band continue to maintain control over their own music. This 50-year cycle will naturally continue in 2023, with many 1973 recordings likely to be quote-unquote officially released in the interest of copyright extensions. But what I'd love to see happen is for more acts to follow Pink Floyd's example of beating the bootleggers. It's a bold move that makes perfect sense in the streaming era, and it benefits both the artist and the fans. Once again, my name's Kyle, and this has been Track by Track. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.